Hi, Carol.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good, how are you? I don't think I've
Yeah.
ever met you before.
Now, what office are you in?
Cupertino.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm in the San Jose office. How long have you been a
Ah,
realtor?
feels like forever. I just got my I just got my official license a couple months ago. So
Well, very good. Congratulations, Carol. You chose to
thanks.
join the market at one of the craziest times, but don't worry, you're at the Cupertino Keller Williams. They're an incredible brokerage. They are an incredible office with training, and you're going to do very well. So,
Oh, that sounds really reassuring to hear. Thank you, Tabitha. I'm
yeah,
glad to.
it is. It's scary. I mean, yeah, it's scary being a new agent, and that's why we have all these great courses. I used to be with another company before I came here, and they were really great. But the what would I say? The culture here, everybody wants everybody to win. At other
Oh, good.
brokerages, they may want you, to compete at a different level, or the top producers are too busy. Here, everybody wants to win. So it's just me and you, but let's start. You okay with
Let's
that?
go. Yeah, let's
All
do it. If you don't mind,
right.
I'm
Yeah, don't worry. I don't care if I don't get to see you. So, first of all, I'm Tabitha Loiza. I am with Keller Williams, Silicon City, and I've been an agent since 2017. I've been on two top producing teams. So I've learned a lot being with teams. And then as I ventured out into as a solo agent, I decided to come to Keller Williams, Silicon City, and my forte is good communication and learning how to know your audience. So this is called winning the seller. Let's share
and
my.
and Tabitha, since it's just us, I don't want to, I don't ever want to hijack a class. But even though I've recently got my license, I've been doing it for 13 years in other states, and also my family is in the area and they've been doing it for 25.
Hmm. That's good news. So what?
Yeah. So,
Where are they at? Where's your family
what
from?
do you, I'm originally East Coast, but my family's been out here for 25 years.
That's
And my
awesome.
mom, yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm kind
So
of like the
you know the
shadow.
industry. You know the industry, but you now have your license, right?
I am officially allowed to market myself, not
Yeah.
just my family's
Yeah.
business.
Well, that's huge. So that you have a better advantage than most people. You know that, right?
Yeah, I definitely appreciate it now, and a lot of the
Yeah.
things that I understand intrinsically. I also
Yeah.
was in corporate strategy, so
Oh,
this
wow.
idea of business development and having a pipeline makes total sense. So I didn't
And
want to
you
hijack anything,
understand
but
that. Yeah,
I'm
don't worry
sorry.
about hijacking the class. Those that show up at 9 o'clock, we're not hijacking the class. This is recorded. Don't you worry about that. We're on a time schedule, and we just
Great,
we just keep proceeding forward.
great,
So I
great.
love, coming into real estate. So first of all, I'm with Keller Williams, Silicon City. I'm an agent. I was a realtor prior to that. I'm sorry, a stager. Had my own staging business. This became the natural progression. Prior to that, my background's accounting. So I like systems. I need to
Oh,
understand, right? You have an advantage because you are in the sales. So you understand a pipeline. A lot of people don't understand. We become salesmen, salesmen or women. And so it's really having good communication, knowing your audience, and having compassion and empathy. Not everybody, you're not going to be able to work with every seller. You're not going to win every sale, but you're going to do your best to compete. And let's begin. It's called Win the Seller. The course overview. This is regarding how do we win the seller, and how do we determine who is an A seller. You understand what A, B, and C, um, right, Miss Carol?
yes,
Okay,
yes.
perfect, perfect. So today's agenda is about getting that seller. How do we determine that? We determine an A seller based off how we're getting the lead. Is it a referral? Is it from an open house? Is it from farming? Is it from circle prospecting? Do you know all the terms, right, Carol?
Yes, yes.
Okay, perfect. So that's how we determine who's our A seller. We have to find out their motivation, time frame, and what is it going to take for them to sell. Some sellers are ready to go now. Hey, I'm retiring. We want to upgrade. We want to move out of state. Some are, I want to move, but I'm stuck with capital gains. I'm not 55 yet. we really need to understand that client. So when we meet that A seller, however that may be, we'd like to screen them and make sure we're asking the right questions on how we can help them achieve their goals. Because that's ultimately all we're doing. It's not about the sale, it's not about making that money. It's about helping them achieve that goals. And when you can get that process and the customer service in your head, as Gary Keller tells us, your business will grow. It will grow organically because you are creating a relationship that for this particular buyer and make it such a smooth transition that they'll think, oh, wow, she was amazing. Carol was amazing. She helped me took out the stress. Because that's really what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to be knowledgeable, know who the A seller is. So, example, you get the seller, you might be at an open house. They see a listing. They're going to come in and say, "Hey, I'd like to know what the value of my home is." Then you talk to them, ask them some screening questions, and ask them just for an appointment. Hey, I'd like to have an appointment so I can look at your home. Um, and as you get in the appointment, when you meet them, you want to ask them, okay, why are you selling? What's your time frame? Who are the decision makers in the property? Is it mom, dad? Is it in a trust? So you have to have really good screening questions. Once you get all that information, lock in an appointment, and you want to prepare your listing package. Do you have that, Carol? You have your listing package all together for you?
Yes.
Perfect, perfect. So then once you get that pre-listing package, in that pre-listing package, you should have not only the property profile, the comparables, because we're running it based off of the schematics of that home. You should all have some data. And there at your office, there is an economist there, runs fabulous data. Listen, listen to them, and you will be able to compete at a high level because you could break down exactly what's going on year over year. The analogy you want to come in not only with your listing package, you want to have uh, the title report. This is how we run a comparable. Have a comparable. Show them the data, and then where are the options? Where are they going to be going next? That's really important. You want to come in prepared. You want to have information regarding capital gains. Although you and I are not the experts in capital gains or a net sheet, we have to have that whole strong listing package. Because when you go in there and it's complete from A to Z, uh, it makes you look like a stronger agent, which you are, and you should be knowledgeable. But remember, we have to remind them, I don't have, I'm not a CPA. So there's a lot of things we can't do, but we want to provide everything. Once you're at the listing appointment, you want to encourage them, okay, here's the comparables. This is what your house is worth. And you immediately walk the house as soon as you first walk in. That's the first thing you should be doing. Thank you for inviting me in. May I please walk your property? I'd love to see the interior of it. And that gives you an idea. Is it updated? Is it original? Because that's going to give you the opportunity, right? And I'm sure, and you know this, Carol. So you get to the listing agreement and you want to sign the terms. Are you good at, well, have you had a listing yet, Carol?
Not under my license number.
Perfect, perfect. All right. So negotiating the listing, usually we are at 6%. Then you have to show your value in your listing package. Do I provide staging? Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I'm going to prepare your property. I will do the inspections. I'm going to do professional photography. You're going to be marketed all on all social media, but also global because we have other offices, nationwide. What's our value? We have to bring our value proposition. And based off of that, we're hoping to get that 6%. If you come in strong and confident and you have that information, there's no reason why you shouldn't get 6%. But again, it's negotiable, right? If they say, can I do 5? It's up to you. It's up to you. At KW, you can go up to 5. If you need to go lower, they're going to ask you why you need to go lower because the brokerage still has to make money. But again, you're going to know who your audience is and then know your worth, right? So I'm not saying 5% isn't a good thing. It's up to you, Carol. And then, is there any questions that you have at all regarding this?
No, I mean, I think the biggest thing is the whole equity gains and addressing that. I feel like everybody's just fishing for information.
Yeah. So fishing for information is easy. You could Zillow what your house is worth. And remember, when people come to you, and Carol, they're going to say, you know what, I saw when you're talking to somebody, an Abe seller, and you see them, they're going to say, Carol, I saw in Zillow what my house is worth. That's a Zestimate. It's not a true, accurate estimate. I am with, you're going to say, I'm Carol. I'm with Keller Williams. I have MLS. It's a multiple listing site that I joined, that with, and it's with every item, every property that's recorded goes to multiple listing site. That's a site all realtors use. So I have accurate data. Zillow isn't on top of it. You'll see a property on Zillow that's maybe it's already closed or pending. We may not always see it because they're not as current as we are. You want to show your strength. You want to show them the listing. You want to show them the comps, but you want to show them the data. You want to show them every, so it goes within the 3 quarters, January, February, March. But you're going to look closer to February, and you're going to show them list to sale price ratio. Hey, you want this house in Santa Clara? It went 8% over asking. This one, it went only 2%. Then you're going to review it with them as you're in their house and make them understand how they have to compete to, sell their house for the top dollar. Do I need to upgrade? Do I need to, what's going to bring them value? So if you have family that's in this, they're going to be able to guide you. And you're right, people are just fishing for numbers, but you want to show them, how can I make you the most money with little out of pocket for you, but showcase it at a high level. And you have to really be able to do that. So don't worry, you're with Keller Williams and you're on your own, and you've had the experience of your family. So you could always ask, and you could always ask one of us, anybody at your office, Eric, the top producers, what do you do? What do you do? Because again, Carol, it's going to be you. What are you willing to pay for? Have you thought about that? What are you willing to pay for in your listing package when you're selling?
Nothing.
So you're not
All
going to pay
tax
for it.
deductible to them. It all depresses their equity gain. So I don't explain.
Okay. So what you're saying is when you do a listing, you won't say, I'm going to pay for the pictures, I'm going to pay for staging or anything like that.
No.
Okay. Now remember, it's up to you. It's all up to you. But when you come in and you want to show some value, it's not only knowledge, but some sellers, some agents always do an inspection report, pay for inspection report. Top producers here pay for it, so we know what we're selling. We pay for the marketing. That means for the digital images and that type of stuff. So remember that going forward, you have to come with some value, because it's not just about you making money. What else are you giving them? That's going to be really critical, and the way they look at you. Well, if Carol's not giving me anything, or me, if Tabitha's not giving me anything, I can go to Redfin. Again, Redfin charges you 6%. They're just hitting cost. So I want you to be mindful of that, of what you'd like to think about it. Okay. And this is what Gary Keller says: while leads are vital to your sales business, seller listings are critical to your ability to build it to its highest level with the lowest cost and highest net. So it doesn't mean you don't pay anything, but you should do something. So you have to determine what that is. Because if you came to me and someone said, hey, I'm going to sell your house, but I'm not doing anything, you have to pay for everything, I'll go to the next agent. I'll go to the next listing agent. I'll say, okay, if I'm paying you 6%, but you're not doing anything for me, I can get another agent that's going to do it for 5, and they're going to pay for staging. They're going to pay for inspections. So I want you to be mindful of that. I pay for the staging and I pay for inspections. I want my house to look great. You have to have your own arsenal of contractors, cleaners, photographers, movers. If you have to declutter, mind you, I was a stager before. So you have to provide, what's my value proposition? So remember that, okay? You can think about, what would I like to give? Because it's not only about what we're going to receive in commission, it's about the communication and the customer service that they're going to get. That's what they're looking for. Okay. So again, we have the A sellers getting the appointment, pre-listing packet. Let's go to this one. Who is a qualified seller? Who's ready and willing to do business in the next 14 days? So when we say A seller, it could be up to 3 months. They're ready to go, but it may mean that they have to get their retirement papers in. They have to declutter. They have to wait for someone to move out. But a qualified seller is ready to go, within up to minimum of 3 months. That's what we call an A seller. The 3 L's of the MRE book. Have you read the book, Carol? The $1 Million Real Estate book?
I have it.
Yeah, you should read it. You should read it, and if you'd love, I'd love to read it with you as a partner. I know that you've had the experience of your family, but it's such a great blue book. And I know it kind of sounds silly, right? Because I came from another brokerage, top producing brokerage, top teams, but coming in as a solo agent, it guided me. Even though I knew people that were agents, it guided me. That we call it a blue book. Gary Keller's going to tell you he picked all these incredible agents to tell you once you've done X, Y, and Z, then you're going to hire. After you've created all this business and you become too busy, you hire an admin. It tells you it's a playbook. Elizabeth Doe, she's in Orange County. She does $600 billion in revenue, has done, and she follows the MREA book. I'm on a team called TE Real Estate Group here in San Jose. We own 70% of the market share of the Vietnamese community. We are running the MREA book, so you should read it and just get an idea of, take bits and pieces. But this is what we call the blue book. It's a playbook. How do we win? So with the listings, we leverage and then we get leads. When we're a listing agent, we're in control, and then we can leverage it, right? To show more business, to market it and showcase us. Hey, I'm Carol. I'm with Cupertino office. I'm with Keller Williams. I have a fantastic home. Then those leads are going to be generated to you because they want to, you're the producer, so it's really great in how you showcase. But I encourage you to read that book. It's a really great book. Can I ask you, Carol, what made you decide to come to Keller Williams? What's good about KW? Is your family here with us?
No, I just really like the tools and independence.
Yeah, for sure. It's a really great company, Carol. And you're a newly licensed. You're gonna figure out your way and what you're good at and how you want to communicate, right? Because everybody communicates different, but as long as we can find out how we can better help that client, it's only going to help you grow. Okay. So virtues of seller listings. Seller listings mean marketing the opportunities. You have more control of your time, and this is true. Seller listings maximize your per hour compensation. Buyers, it's hard. Buyers is hard because you got to follow them. You got to be good as an agent. But listings, you control everything. You can control the pace. You can control the compensation, the volume. It's based on how much you're marketing. With seller listings, you are on the front end of pricing. So you're the negotiator. You're the negotiator. Have you ever negotiated, Carol, your offers yet? Because I know you've been a part of it. Have you been
Yes.
able to say that's awesome?
Yes.
Well, so this is awesome. You're going to use your strengths in that, and you have a better advantage than a lot of people because if you're able to negotiate strong, it just shows that confidence. I can compete for you, and just like you said, I'm not paying for anything, but if you're getting that 6%, they want to see your value and then how good I can. Because if you're also a discount agent and you're giving like really, really cheap, there's agents that give like 2%, 3%. Those are the private brokerages. How if they can negotiate, they can negotiate their compensation for a commission. How are they going to, compete in offers? So you have to be mindful. Show your value because they'll say, "I'll go to I can go to Redfin." Well, you know what? Redfin, how are they going to compete in getting you top dollar? Carol here at KW, I'm going to be able to compete at a high level, and that's what we really want for you. There's 7 steps of the seller service cycle. Okay, there's the post. This is the lead conversion. So this is the seller cylinder. We have the lead conversion. So that means, do you have a farm and everything, Carol, with title?
Yes.
Perfect. All right. So once you get a listing, you should always ask your title to give you 350, 200. It depends on you. So it's called circle prospecting. But with your lead, you want to go ahead and get all the neighborhood involved with your listing as well. You're going to get the pre-listing package. What's going to be in it? You got to make sure it's detailed, but you want to make sure you have some data, not only the comps. Show them algorithms, show them absorption rate, show them the speed of the market, not only how much inventory, but how quickly it's selling, right? Because we're in Silicon Valley, you have to be able to articulate that. When you meet at the listing consultation, you're going to go to the service and marketing aspect. What am I going to be doing to showcase your home? How quickly we're going to get on the market? Who's it going to be distributed to? And you're going to give that timeline. You're controlling this. Mr. Seller, would you like to have the offers, me review them as they come in, or set a deadline? You're going to control that, Carol. And then again, when they all come in, you're going to do your offers and negotiations. You're going to negotiate for the best terms, best price, whatever you feel good with for your seller. We always want to get the best terms and best price, but again, best price may not always be the strongest buyer, right? It could be to have a great price, but they're not sure if they're going to close. So you're going to be able to just handle that. And we get to contract to close. Then once we get to that contract to close and close that deal, we're going to do the post-close system. That means you're going to send out your flyers for the pending, sold, and then do that circle prospecting to get that next listing and show that next neighbor, hey, I sold this house. Would you like to know your value? So you got to show your value proposition. Any questions, Carol? So once we get the appointment, we are going to prepare for it. And preparing for that appointment means knowing the client, knowing what we need to research. Is it Prop 19? Is it capital gains? Is it looking for a property in another area? Is it looking for moving out of state? Once you get that appointment, based off of what you've learned from the client, you need to prepare. So prepare a really strong packet. Keys to converting your A seller. Respond right away to a lead inquiry. So if you have a neighbor, friend, wherever that may be, even if they visit you at the open house, flyer dropping, door knocking, you could be at the store. Always talk real estate. So always respond to the lead inquiries right away. That means, hey, I'm interested in what's the value of my home or what's the market doing. Just respond. Get valid and complete contact information, save it to command, and create an opportunity. So we should have at least over 200 contacts in command today. Determine their motivation to sell so you can speak to it. Touch that lead. Then you want to set an appointment, time and date, for as soon as possible and send that pre-listing package. You should always do your pre-listing package and drop it off the day before. So that way the seller can look at what you're going to be presenting and they can outline the questions for you. What's this compensation? What are you going to be doing when you declutter my house? Whatever it may be, let them have those questions for you ready. So always drop it off. Hey, hi, Mr. Seller. I just dropped off the package of my pre-listing to you, or you could do it by email. Every person's different how they'd like to receive it. So when you go in, they'll have their questions ready and there won't be any delay in getting that listing signed. What sellers want most from their agent? That's a good one. You can see this little pie chart here. They want help price home competitively. So that's 21%. Help sellers market to their potential buyers. That's 20%. Help sell their home within a specific time frame. That's 16%. Help sellers find a way to fix up their home to sell it for more. So that's the 21%. Other 2021 profile of home buyers and sellers of National Association of Realtors. These are their main concerns. Help price the home competitively. Help sellers market home to potential buyers. Help the seller within home time frame. Help the seller find a way to fix up the home to sell it for more. And that's key. You want to go in, you want to evaluate the property. Not everybody's a designer. You want to declutter. You want to give suggestions on what could stay in the property. If you don't know, have a stager come in, give you some advice. Does this house need staging? How are you going to prepare? You have to have a complete package and show your value. Not just, hey, I could sell your house. You have to be, okay, I have some really great sources and I'm really educated on how I can help you get top dollar. And that's how you negotiate the top commission as well. Build confidence and trust. Be compassionate. Be you. You can come in and be a tough agent, but always sellers can tell that. They can tell if you really care or if you don't. And if you're just worried about making that commission for any agent across the board, you're more than likely not going to get the listing. If you don't come in and show your value proposition, they have to trust you. They have to trust, hey, Tabitha's going to provide really good information. Listening presentation was fabulous. I know that I feel confident in her just taking the lead, because that's really our role. Our role is to build their confidence and trust that I'm going to take this listing. As soon as you sign the contract, I'm going to take it and I'm going to run with it. I'm going to alleviate all the stress from you. I have a team of people that are going to be doing the inspection, getting the appraisal, everything that we need to do to get your house prepared. I will be the buffer. That's really essentially what we are. We are the buffer. We are the problem solvers. There's going to be problems coming up, but we have to show them that we're going to handle it. We're not going to even let it touch them. You got to remember that. That's going to make you an effective selling agent. Top producers, it's not because they're so aggressive, it's because they care. And that's really what it is. We have people that, there's other agents that have left the state that's all we talk about is just how we care for our clients. And they feel that. It's a relationship you have to build. 7, close to appointment tactics. Show the benefits. What are your benefits? If we close now, what are the good benefits? Take back close. Negative, positive close. Give them what they're looking for. There's a trial close, assumptive close, tie downs. Those are the 7 close to appointment tactics. The same close to appointment tactics what the buyers and sellers are looking for. There's a participation guide that we'll send you, but show the benefits. There's a negative and positive close, but we want to have that positive close because there's going to be all those issues in between. How are we going to be able to navigate it before it even hits a seller? Maybe we did the termite inspection. There's a lot of things going on. So we want to know what we're selling, how we're selling it, and how we're going to promote it to protect the seller so that we don't have to take it off the market. Questions versus objections. When a question is asked, answer it. You should be well versed in the question. And if you are not well versed in the questions, ask someone. Ask somebody to come with you on that listing presentation. Even if you're a new agent or an agent that hasn't closed many deals, it's okay to ask somebody for help. If it's not your broker, if it's not your MCA or your office manager at each office that we have, ask another agent. Hey, would you mind coming with me to my listing presentation? There are productivity coaches at every office. You could ask that productivity coach to help you and give you some tools. Or you can bring another agent into the deal so you can close it. So when a question is asked, always answer it. Or you could say, I don't know that answer, but I'll get right back to you. Never leave it hanging and never give them an answer that is not correct. Don't give them an answer you don't know. When an objection comes up, you got to know the rebuttals. If someone says it's not the right time, you're going to have the answer to that rebuttal. Sometimes having the data is crucial so they can understand what's happening in the market. And if it's the trend is down, you want to say this is the best time to sell before the market goes down. Or if they just need to wait. And sometimes you're going to have a seller, when they have an objection, you may not just be able to appease them because they may not just want to sell. I've been here 50 years, Tabitha. Where am I going to go? So remember that. We're not going to win every seller, but we're going to do our best to compete at a high level, have the good answers, have the rebuttals, because that's key. When you can have the rebuttals and in a kind way explain why they should be selling, or this is the best opportunity that would benefit their goals, that's going to make you a stronger agent. And remember, it's not aggressive. It's not yelling. It's just being kind and just knowing. And when you could be that comfortable and they could feel it, makes you very strong. Any ahas or questions?
Hey, Tabitha,
Yes.
this is Warren.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Hi, this is Warren. I have a quick question.
Hi, Warren.
Hi, the question I have is going back to one of the objection example that you gave. It's like
Yes.
someone elderly or just always saying where would I go? Everything is so expensive. I'm just curious what your response to that is and how would you help them resolve that potential issue?
Warren, good question. The reason why I brought that question up, when I was a new agent, mind you, I want to share with you guys, being a new agent, even though I was on top producing teams, I wasn't able to be trained because they were top producers. They didn't have time. They were closers. So I had to learn how to learn the responses. So I would flyer drop and door knock. And I'll give you an example. I'm in Santa Clara. That's where I would door knock. And at high prices, this is pre-pandemic. I'd knock on a door, and I know that house is worth a lot of money. And I'd knock on the door and say, "Hey, did you know your house is, valuable? Right now is a good time to sell. That house just sold for 1.7, whatever the number was, right?" And I met a lot of elderly because I knew how I was targeting. When I read my title report, we strategically farmed that area for empty nesters, notice of default. When I knock on the door, I know who I'm talking to. So when I'm knocking at the door, I'd get people, clients that would say, "Tabitha, I can make a lot of money, but where would I would go? My family's here. Um, my post office is right here. The Walgreens is here." And in my head, I would say the same thing, Warren. How can I get them off the fence? Mind you, I did this for probably 9 months, meeting those same type of clients. And one of the top producing agents at Intero, where I used to be, he says, "Tabitha," he goes, "you're not going to get them to sell. You're just going to be a source. You're going to say, 'Okay, Isabel, I understand you don't want to sell today, but you know what? If you need someone to give you a landscaper, because I see that your yard is pretty high, I could refer you to a landscaper. Become just a relationship now. Don't hound them to sell their house. Just say, 'You know what? I understand, but is it okay if I come from time to time and drop off a flyer, or is it okay if I send you an email, or I send you mailers?'" That's when you change it to becoming, um, just a valuable source for them. So good question, Warren. Sometimes you can't get them off the fence, even though I know it would be the right time. If it's not the right time for them and they don't want to go, you can't make anybody go, Warren. I hope that was helpful.
Interesting. Tabitha, I have a question.
Yes, Adrian.
I have a seller. He's a sphere. He want to actually sell his property, but in the meantime, he's living in a property. There is another property that he's getting renting, and there's another property that he doesn't get any rent, and the other one he's getting rent. But he told me like he want to sell one of his houses, but he was worried about outsource getting outsourced from renting. Like for example, he just receiving one house for renting, and the other two, if he sells one of the houses, he
Mhm.
won't be able to get the rent from that.
Okay, so it's all his motivation. So it sounds like he has family members living in the house, Adrian. Would you say that's correct? Because if he's not receiving rent for one, that means they're paying the mortgage for him because he's not making income. Is that what I'm hearing? He has several homes. Some he's receiving money, as a return on his investment. There's others that someone's living and paying for it. So is that what I'm hearing correctly, Adrian? Because there's a couple of homes that you're saying, but he's not
Yeah,
getting rent in all of them. Is that correct?
that is correct, because he's living in one, and
Okay.
then there is a house that forced he bought first, but
Okay.
he's actually making like I would say he bought it with someone else, and someone else
Oh,
is living in that house.
oh, I understand.
And he's
Okay.
paying taxes in that. He's in the
Okay.
title.
Okay.
Uh,
I'm sorry, Adrian, does he want to sell the house because he wants to get off title or he wants to make money? There's two things. Sometimes people want to get off title because they no longer want the responsibility with the taxes.
right.
The person that he came into to the house with on title, maybe
Mhm.
they've had just, it's a falling out, or they just don't want to no longer be partners. That could be another reason. And doing that, you refinance it or sell it. So does he want to sell it or just get off title?
He just want to live there, and then he want to sell his other property, but the
Okay.
other property is getting rent.
Okay.
And he was worried like if I sell it, I won't get rent anymore, and I'm just
Okay.
receiving one rent for a house, only one
I
rent.
understand. Yeah. So if he wants to make money, is he out? So these are good questions, Adrian. So is he over 55 or under 55, your client?
Over 55.
Okay. Well, there's two things. So this is very good. So if you have a buyer, a seller that owns multiple properties, one he gets income from, another one the other person that he invested with lives in, and then he has a house because he wants to still continue to get a positive return on his income, or
Right.
he wants to sell it. If he's over 55 and it's a primary residence, he could use Prop 19, but that's a rental. So he can't use that. If he wanted to sell his house that his colleagues in or his partner, they could sell that and take those property taxes and go anywhere and gain that money. That means if they bought a bigger house to get a bigger return and rent that one out, they could do that. Next thing he could do is get a 1031 exchange, sell that house, buy another property to produce more income producing, but it's all based on your seller, Adrian. Does he just want to make money or does he want higher rent? Those are the questions. So if he wants to make more money on that rent, if he sells it, he's worried about rental income. So then you have to find out his motivation, Adrian. Do you want to make money or do you still want to get a return on your investment? Because I agree, if you have equity, not everybody wants to sell. If you have equity with anybody, that's the strongest thing to have. Stocks are dropping and our home prices are part of that trend too. If home prices are up, I mean, stocks are up, we're up. You know, we go like this, right? It's just a trend. It's 8 to 10 cycle. But you have to find out their motivation. If he doesn't have to sell, then don't sell it. Maybe he has to revamp the property. Maybe he wants to get more money because he's not getting as much money as he'd like on his return. Well, how long has the person lived there? You got to ask those questions, Adrian. How long have they lived there? If they lived there longer than a year, they have a 30-day notice. If
Mhm.
they've been there 2 years, they have a 90-day notice, because he can revamp it. He can hire a property management. There's a bunch of things he can do to gain more return on his investment, and also building ADUs on it. So I'd like you to get more information on it and let's make an appointment. And that way you could sit with him and really understand what he'd like to do. Because that's what you have to do. You have to understand your client's needs. He has several properties he wants to sell, but he's worried about not getting the rent.
Right.
So
Right.
we
Right.
have to
Right.
find out why is that? Does that mean that the house needs a little bit of, he can get probably top dollar, but if he's in the valley, you know, Modesto, Lathrop, it's a little harder to get the top rent. It's a good rent, but it's a migration pattern. Remember, guys, understand that if you are priced out here in Santa Clara County, we have a migration pattern. We're moving outward to Hollister, Lathrop, Tracy. You need to understand your market. You need to understand the seller and what are their intentions. So good questions. But I would set an appointment with him and sit with him in the office and really go over all his properties, pull all the property profiles, and we can go over that and then get him to the goal. And there's going to be several solutions for him, Adrian. Okay.
Interesting. Yeah. I think. Well, he told me like he want to buy a house in Sacramento because her daughter lives here. Lives there.
Okay.
But he told me on June. He want
Okay.
to actually buy on June.
Okay.
So
Well,
in
that's good. It's a good time. If he has time, and then we have to get the tenant out that he's renting, you have to give the tenants a notice. He can do it. It's all possible. So that's a good lead for you. Congratulations. Okay. Let's talk about it so I can help you. You get yourself prepared. Own your listing, man. You got it on your own. So good job.
yeah, I'm gonna call you, by the way. You gotta help me.
Yeah, I'll give you the information, okay? So in that pre-listing package, this is what you're going to prepare. What's he needing? Every client you have is going to be different. There is not one client that's the same. When coming in this, you think, oh, everything we're doing is the same. The package could be the same, but you're going to add materials if they're over 55, if they're under 55, if they're empty nesters. You're going to put things in this pre-listing package here. Oops, sorry guys, got excited. You're going to put things in this pre-listing package that's going to pertain to that seller, right? They have to upgrade. They are moving out of state. And remember, if we move out of state, we have referrals for that. Okay.
And question,
Uh,
you say what is empty nester, by the way?
Empty nester means someone that's their children have left college, have moved out of the house. You know, we buy a house and raise these kids. At some point, they've either on their own in another state, they bought their own house, or they just have their own properties, could be rent, or they own it. But that's called empty nesters. That means they don't need that big 5-bedroom house anymore. Those are called empty nesters. And title can help you run those reports to know who's an empty nester. And I'll help you prepare that. Any of you have questions on how to do any of this information, you can always email me. I'm very passionate about my clients. So my clients, I end up becoming family with them because I'm compassionate, passionate, and competitive. I'm going to do everything I possibly can to gain their trust so they can believe in me and know that I'm going to take everything away from them. Secondly, I'm going to get them top dollar. And the only reason why I couldn't give top dollar is if it's a bad house and it has to go to an investor. But again, I'm going to try to bring in every source I can. Remember that your clients are going to be able to tell you, they can feel how much you care about them. And it sounds silly, right? I just want to sell. We can sell, but you also have to have that care. If you do anything illegal and you're not representing them or being truthful, you could also be sued. So our care, understanding the contract, knowing what to say, and not giving false information, because you can get in trouble for that. So it's very mindful. So we have to train for this. And statistically, they say it takes 3 years for us to be a really active agent where the business comes. So I encourage you guys to train, go to as many classes as you can at KW, because we have a lot of intelligent people, a lot of great courses that are online, and Command is phenomenal what we could learn. So the purposeful approach, doing what comes unnaturally, right? Naturally, ceiling of achievement. We focus, we have models. Okay, so focus is you. How much do you want to work? Do you have a schedule? Are you prospecting? What are the models that we're following? Are we following the KW models, or we're just watching something from YouTube, or we're freelancing it, right? You never want to do that. You want to focus. We have consistent, we have systems. You know, we have a database. We're nurturing that database. It may be there's an A buyer, B buyer, C buyer. A buyer is ready to go now. B buyer 3 months and on. C buyer is someone 6 months and later. You know, maybe the end of the year. But we're all going to categorize our database. So you're gonna focus. What's your schedule? Everybody should have a schedule. I get up at 8 a.m. I lead gen. I know you have a schedule, Adrian. You're with a very strong team, so you have to have a schedule. When are you prospecting? Because this is a tough market right now, guys. The market has shifting, and it's not the easy referrals. It's not those crazy over asking. We have to show value proposition, especially for sellers right now, because there's 100 agents per that house that wants to sell it. So you have your models. We have our systems that we're going to be using daily, and then we should have some breakthroughs. You know, man, I got a response on that email. Hey, the mailers that I sent is connecting with people. You know, there are ways to measure. Every day you should know how many calls you're making, how many clients you interact with, how many appointments you set. You should know this. This is how you measure. This is how you become a strong agent. And if you find out I'm sending out those 500 mailers and no one's responding to the last open house that I just sold, maybe sending those mailers are not your way to go. Maybe it's better if I'm calling. Maybe I'm door knocking. Maybe it's social media. So remember that everyone is good at something. What is your talent? Okay. Pre-listing package goals. Build the seller's confidence. Answer their questions and objections before your presentation. Save time. Make the consultation experience smoother and shorter by tackling common obstacles. Like if we walk in and we see that this house is pretty dirty, hey, I have someone that's going to come and help you declutter. You have to have now, as a selling agent, to win the seller, you want to come in with the tools. You have to have your own group of people. Not all of us do. We learn as we go, but you got to show, hey, how am I going to help you prepare this house? There's a lot of stuff to do. But you know what? The great news is I have a team of people to help you. And me, I'm literally in there helping people move stuff out. I'm not the only agent here at KW that does that. A lot of our agents help pack, move, prep, paint, landscaping. That means simple stuff, right? Maybe putting potted flowers or something. So save time and make the consultation smoother and shorter by talking to them about common obstacles that may happen and viewing their home. State your value. Tell them what the seller, tell them what you're bringing. You know, this is what I'm going to do for you and help you sell and achieve your goal. So it's all in the listing package. What's your value? What are you going to do for them? Okay. That's really important. And there's not an agent here that will tell you they do nothing. Every agent here does something, and it's pretty great because everyone's so passionate, and it's kind of like that person is there. They just tend to their needs. So when you see all these great reviews, it's because of that confidence, and you should always know the rebuttals. In the pre-listing package criteria, you review the listing presentation. Does it eliminate the need for the listing consultation? right? So if you've talked with them already as they're reviewing it, they may just say, you know what, Adrian, I trust you to list my house, because that's what it sounds like with your friend. All right. It is a primer for your education. You will provide the listing consultation, because they need to understand what happens next. If I put this house on the market, we have a time frame. We have to get it prepared. You don't have to do inspections, but in order for your house to sell quickly and without those contingencies, you should always have an inspection report. And if the seller can't afford to do it, you should pay for it. If you don't want to pay for it, you could ask them to pay it at close of escrow. Again, that's not how I work, but everyone has their own way of working. Our job is to prepare that house to top tier without any rebuttals, without any questions. So when we're in contracts, we don't fall out. Presentation's key, and how you prepare it all depends on you. So in your pre-listing package, we have now at KW, we have Loke, and we have our new marketing team. You just send it to them. They will create your own listing package, and you can have them customize it. There is a standard one, but there is one that they can that you have to pay for, and you can customize it any way you want. It has to have all the legalities of our name, DRE license, and so forth. But everyone should have their own custom listing package. So that way, when you know it, all you got to do is plug in the address. Plug in the address, 123 Main Street. Here it is. You're going to add your property profile. You're going to add your comps. Those are the things that will be attached, but you're ready to go for any property, guys. Okay. Any questions? Anybody have any questions on this? Okay. Seller consultation preparation checkoff list. Deliver your pre-listing packet. Confirm the appointment and date. So even the day before, hey, I just want to make sure that we're coming in. Ensure all the decision makers are there. That means if he has a partner, we want both partners there. If it's in a trust, who makes a decision? If it's, that means a power of attorney, that people have that power of attorney. If it's two sisters and a brother, make sure everybody's in, because you can't have one person. You have to have everybody make the decision. Complete and practice your listing presentation. Before you go in, practice it. You could do it on a video. You could do it in front of another agent. You could do it by yourself, but get some good feedback so you feel confident, because it's scary when you first start. But as you go, it becomes easy because it becomes natural. And then you know your client. And every listing is going to be tailored to your client. Review the lead sheet, Lead sheet means, okay, this is the property here that you're viewing, but there's also potential lead sheets around in your neighborhood, because you're getting leads from that neighborhood. You maybe did an open house or listing. Be mindful who your target audience is. Sometimes we're in the residents where they're elderly. Sometimes we're in the new, modern, trendy. So know your audience. Arrive to the listing presentation in a professional manner. You should be wearing at least a dress shirt and a blazer. Someone asked me when I first started, I asked my broker, how should I dress? He says, Tabitha, if you want to sell $1 million homes, dress like you sell $1 million homes. So it doesn't mean you have to spend all that money. You can go to Ross or something and get a nice blazer, but you should always dress professional, no matter whatever that means. Okay. They want to see that. Don't come in comfortable, tennies, hat. Any ahas, any questions?
Hi, Tabitha. This is Robbie. I have a question.
Sure, Robbie.
What is it exactly that you take on a listing appointment? Like what kind of package? What's in that package?
I could send you an example, but in my listing package, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Robbie?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Yes.
Good. Okay. So in my listing package, I have you saw that listing package here earlier. So I have something like this. It's customized in that listing package. So it talks about me, and this is already pre-formatted for KW. You can get this from our office. Okay.
Okay.
Are you with KW or with another branch?
No, yeah, I'm at the Santa Clara Valley.
Perfect. Yeah. So we have it for you. Don't worry. Loc can create this for you. No problem. Okay. But in your listing package, it's going to tell you about you, how you're going to showcase your home, who it's touching, and the process. It'll say, I'm going to do this, clean, declutter, whatever it may be. And it's going to be based off of you. You can have them change it, but show them how you're going to showcase the home. Then you're going to have the property profile about that property. That's from title. You're going to have comparables. I run a lot of data. I run a lot of stats because when I'm talking to somebody, not only saying it's a good time to sell, I'm going to show them why. I'm going to show them year over year. So I really like running data, and that's really how I gain my clients' trust, because they can say, Tabitha, so I run data. Then I'll also have what's next for them. If they're over 55, I will have information regarding Prop 19 or propositions that could affect them, capital gains if they're over 55. So you're going to tailor your presentation based off of your client, Robbie. Okay. So it depends on who that client is. Know who it is. If it's somebody that's 35 years old and they want to upgrade, okay, we know that we're going to have capital gains and you're going to go to the next property. So it's going to be all based on that client, and it's case by case. But first of all, it's a listing package, property's value, some data, any information that would be helpful for them. If they're going to be moving to the valley, you can show them list of homes and what they sold for, because you're probably be selling a buy at the same time if you can gain their trust. So every client's different, but I can actually send you my package if you'd like to see it. And it's just mine is standard, this little packet here, but I have a little
Okay.
information about them. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because I do notice on some examples that I've kind of thumbed through, and some even have like a resume of experience and stuff like that. And as a newer agent, I
Yeah.
don't have quite the extensive, list of experiences. So,
You know
so
what?
yeah, I'm
Leverage.
kind of wondering.
No, you're going to leverage your company. You're going to leverage Santa Clara. So I want to tell you, I'm also a productivity coach, Robbie. And you have Travis at your office. Pick his brain.
Yeah.
He's a great PC coach. So I became a productivity coach because I didn't share with you, when I first started in real estate, I struggled miserably. Even though I was on top producing team, guys, I wasn't educated. I didn't know how to talk to clients. I would get $2 million buyers. I did not know what to say. I lost millions of dollars because I'd meet them at the open house. I'm so excited. Yay, I got an appointment. When I got the listing to go, I didn't know what to say. I had no value. I was just another person talking. I was talking, but saying nothing. Remember these words. We could be talking and saying nothing. That means I'm coming to talk to somebody, but I'm bringing no value. You want to know your client. If you don't know what to put in a listing package and it's a first time home buyer or empty nester, ask somebody. We are here to help you grow. And if you're unsure and it's your first time as a listing, bring in another agent. So what if you have to split it 50-50? It's better to close the deal versus losing the deal. Or you can give the referral. But I would bring an agent in. That's how at my company, we brought another agent in. We closed it. I got the experience. Then I was ready for the next one. I was still unsure. You learn as we grow. You learn with every interaction. You learn with every scenario. Okay. And even if you don't know, practice. Okay. So you can have just a regular standard, but people put a resume. That's who they want. I don't have a resume on mine. I'll put a couple reviews, but really I just come in and be me. I bring my standard little um, um, listing presentation, but I'm going to bring pertinent information. It's the data. It's what their house is worth and what's next for us, Robbie. Okay. So if you need help with that, I can help you, Travis, and the other Cupertino. All of us are here to help you and what you need. Okay. So know that
Yeah,
you're not
I got
alone.
it.
Yeah. And all of us start off that way. We're unsure. And I was a new agent just like you. So I'm passionate about helping new agents. I got this position as a productivity coach because I started helping agents close deals because I struggled miserably, and everybody liked me, but they were too busy to help me. And I had one mentor just took the time. So I'm giving back. If I can answer a question, text me. I'll give you the answer. If you need a package, it's free. I'll send it to you. I don't want anything from you. It's information. We got to be helpful not only to our clients, but to each other. Because that's our culture here. We take care of each other. Okay, remember that. So don't be afraid to ask, and it's okay to say I don't know, because it's better to say I don't know versus going in and say something you don't know and lose the deal or get a bad reputation, or they'll think, hey, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. You never want that. You want to come in with confidence and ask. Okay.
Absolutely. Thank you.
So give me a call if you have any questions. Travis is there, but we can help you. Don't worry about it. You're going to start off
Yeah,
slow.
yeah.
And you'll build up to that. So in 3 years, you're gonna or 2 years, next year, you're gonna say, Tabitha, this is what I've done so far. And I'm gonna say, all right, okay. So no, you're not alone.
Sounds
Remember.
good. Thanks again.
Yes, and Harvey and everybody there, I know everybody there, Sergio, they're phenomenal. Pick their brains. Ask those top producers, how can I be better? Okay. So Okay, so seller consultation, preparation checkoff list, deliver your pre-listing packet, confirm appointment and date, ensure all the decision makers are there. Now let's go to this. Once you get to the listing appointment, we are going to talk about all their needs, their cares, their time frame, but we know that in the screening process. Okay, guys, we already know this. Now, once we show all the value when we get there, we're going to show Robbie, Adrian, Carol. When we're there in that listing, we're going to show our value proposition. They already had the presentation. They know what our commission is going to be asked. Sometimes we could leave it blank till we can negotiate, but usually you could put it on there. It all depends on the agent. Everyone does it differently. So you're going to show your value proposition, how you're going to prepare your house, how you're going to market it, and time frame, right? Create a great impression to build the seller's confidence in you as a real estate agent. You know, like you come in strong and confident, you have those answers. That's how you're going to grow. When you're new, you got to take those baby steps. And if you don't know, ask somebody. If you're unsure, have somebody come with you. And it doesn't always cost money. Remember that. Don't always be worried about, I have to split my commission. You're going to make money, but you got to learn how to train and be good so you can make that money. Okay. Share your price recommendations. Remember, you're going to say, you know, Mr. Seller, I recommend that we sell it for 1.5, but this seller may say, you know what, I want to sell it for 1.7 because the neighbors sold it. Okay, now you're going to have to negotiate. Well, he sold it for 1.7 because everything was brand new, remodeled, recessed lights, solar. You're in original condition. So now remember, you're going to have to learn how you're going to negotiate and the pricing. And there may be a seller stuck on the number. When you have the data, when you have the images, that makes you a stronger agent. They're going to believe you. Okay, I'm going to trust you. You could even say, hey, Mr. Seller, we're going to put it for 1.5, but if it gets this, if it doesn't go to, you know, they may say, I want 1.7. Okay, I could put it for your price. I could list it for any number. Doesn't mean it's going to sell, but let's put it for 1.7. If it doesn't sell within 2 weeks, 3 weeks, let's reduce the price. But that's not a good strategy, guys. If you have, I'm sorry, teammates, I shouldn't say guys, that's not a good strategy. You should always come in with a strong number, because if you're putting a higher number, that means you're not educating your seller. They may be stubborn, but you got to show them, hey, this is the data, this is where we are, and in order to get your best price, you know, and there has to be reasoning behind it. That's why data comes in. Okay, your reasoning has to convince them. Let's do it. Let's try it this way. You can always talk, and it's in your language. I know you'd like to sell for 1.7, but we have to start at a lower price to get to that number. We also have to prepare your house to look exceptional, to bring more activity, to get that offer. Okay, and set expectations on how you'll market your home and work with the sellers, right? So it's not just about them doing it. You have to show some value. Okay, I'm going to help you. I have a source for you. If you can't pay for the staging now, we can pay at close of escrow. But also, what are you contributing? They want to know that, because they know that their houses are worth a lot of money, and that's what they're looking for, value. How the listing presentation meets the seller needs and wants. Yeah, it shouldn't take that long. You know, how's the presentation? Some people go an hour, some people go a half an hour. You want to practice so you can get your listing presentation down. Okay. You want to go through it very simple, let them ask questions. That's why you give them the pre-listing package, so they can have their questions already. Hey, Tabitha, I saw a thing on the contract. It says arbitration. Hey, Tabitha, what does it mean about MLS? Be well versed with the contract as well. We have contract classes here, and they also have them at Santa Clara County at the SCORE office in downtown San Jose. Make sure you know the contract and summarize it, because you're going to go over the listing contract with them. Okay. Your needs. Yeah, you want to tell them, why is this page essential? What's the one thing that has to happen to make your dream or scenario a reality? How can I make this happen for you? Why is it so important to you? If we could add just one more thing to make this process even better, what would it be? Okay, so you want to ask them, okay, I know you want to sell and you want to buy a bigger house because you have a family. Okay, you know, how can I make this happen for you? What's the time frame? What's holding you up? If it's someone that wants to sell here and wants to buy out of state just to capitalize on their money, you know, there's Prop 19, guys. There's a Prop 19 here. That means anywhere in California, if you sell your house and you're over 55 and you've been there 3 years as your primary residence, you could take your property taxes now. Just say I bought my house for $200,000. Property taxes are very low. They could sell their house for $1 million, buy the next house for 1.2, 1.5. Whatever is their sale price over, That's all taxes going to be assessed to their current property, which is a win-win. So you need to know your clients. How can you help them? You know, what is the one thing to help them? Are they saving money? Are they upgrading? Are they getting a good price? Are they being able to sell and at the same time buy, sell and buy at the same time, maybe out of state? You're the one that's going to be aligning everybody. So you need to know how to answer those questions. And we have referral sources everywhere. We have sources for knowing the capital gains. Remember, we're not CPAs. We'll show them a net sheet based off of our commission and the close of escrow. This is what you should walk away with. So that's another thing. I'm sorry, Robbie, you should have a net sheet in there as well. So I'll send you my package if you guys like to see what I have, and make it your own. Make your listing package your own, okay? And practice. I am knowledgeable and caring and the best agent for these clients. They will appreciate my expertise and preparation and choose me to represent them to sell their home. All right. So just train, be knowledgeable, care. The best agent, be the best you can be for them. You know, be passionate. But passionate means you have action. Passion means action. You can be passionate but do nothing. They want to see you be passionate. They want to see you be proactive. They want you to see that, lead them, because it's a stressful process selling a house, guys. It is so stressful, and they feel like, oh, I have to pack everything, and they actually get flustered a lot of the times. You know, things go on. You have to like be the navigator, lead, and say, this is our checkoff list. This is what's going to happen next. We have to declutter. We have to prepare the house. We have to have the inspections. We're going to have something painted. We're going to have the carpet removed or whatever it may be. You should have a checkoff list. If you don't, we can get you one, okay? And it's based off of every home. Update every single stage of the relationship. You know, when you're in here in your command, update it. I have a listing, you know, they're ready to go when we're going to go live. So everything is in here in command. And it's really important that we start using this and add and lead gen and create tasks, because now we're in the technology where it's by automation. Just send in touch, send an email, check in. So remember to use our sources that we have here. And we own our own software. We don't have to buy software. We have a lot of great. Any questions?
How about that? I hate to get really granular on command for a second, but it sounds like you're really with the smart plan. There's something that someone had said in a training session where if you don't take them off it's not archive, don't take them off a plan or something, or you will never get that plan option again. Does that sound familiar to you? Do you know which tool is that?
Yes, I do, but I'm not the expert. And you know what? We have a couple people. His name is Srini. Srini is our IT person. He's actually the IT person for our county. So we can get you that answer. So I'm not an expert in that, but I know exactly what you're saying. Yes, but I can connect you if you'd like. If you could send me your email.
Yeah.
So Ed, send me your email. His name is Srini. He does he's the one that tells us all the tips and tools and all the strategies, but he's actually in IT for the Santa Clara County Register of Voters. So that's his regular job. He does this part-time. He will clear that up for you and show you how to problem solve, okay? To get that.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, because even me I used to be on follow-up boss. So coming in here, I have command. Everything's in here, but we have to learn how to navigate it, right? So don't worry, I can get that for you, okay?
Sounds good. Thanks, Tabitha.
Oh, you're more than welcome. Anything you need, we are here. Remember, information's free, guys. We are a team. We want to help you grow. And don't be afraid to say, you know what, I don't know, because I promise you, we will help you. And at KW, you can do and be anything. I'm not kidding. I'm growing in my career just because they support me, and everyone just wants to see us grow. So I can't wait to see all of you and see you guys in those awards, see you with your closings. So when we do the listing walkthrough, you know, when we do that, you want to assess the property. If you never listed a property, you want to assess the property. What does the house look like? Would you want to buy it? What would you need to do? And if you're not an expert, you know, you could have somebody come in there with you and just give you some advice. And that's always good to have an experienced realtor. You know, handwritten thank yous when you leave. So the key is in all this, it is preparing for your client, know who your client is, know their motivation, do good screening questions, lock the appointment. Once you get the appointment, come in and provide what that client needs. for them to achieve that goal. We already know that they're selling because they got to get a bigger house, they're retiring. Come in with that information and remind you, we're here at the best office, at best brokerage. We will all help you, and it's easy. We'll give you the answers. Okay. So always send a handwritten thank you. And yeah, I hope somebody took a little bit of nuggets away. I know it's overwhelming because we have so many things to do, and no client will ever be the same. Coming from an accounting background, I like a flow chart, right? I have to have it to begin, and then I have to balance, and then I close. That's not how it is in real estate. We just got to get the deal and work that deal based off of that client's needs. Okay. And remember, you could always text me, Travis, or Garrett. You could always ask your brokerages for any questions. But we're a family, and we want to help you grow, and whatever that means.
Okay, thank you. Can I ask one question?
Sure.
Okay, so basically it's a very great Ignite for me. I'm new here in the California. I just got my license last Thursday. My name's Shan Wan. You can call me Susan. I'm from Texas. So basically I worked with the KW in Texas office around 6 years, and I'm just hold license here. So my question regarding the sellers winning class is, so first thing, I think the difference as in Texas. So when we get the seller's listing agreement, we still need to obtain the, I think here is called the seller transfer disclosure, something as in Texas, it's called a seller disclosure form. So basically, as the agent, so one more extra thing to do here is to inspect the house. And as their realtor, we needed to fill out that form. Is that correct?
Yes, but first you have to get the listing. So first you have to get the listing and make the appointment. Once you get the listing agreement signed, you walk the property. You don't do your Avid first because you don't have the listing. You don't do your agent visual inspection. You first get the listing, sign the listing, get it up on MLS. You're going to contact your transaction coordinator, or if you do your own transactions, I'm going to let the seller know, Mr. Seller, thank you for signing this listing. Now we're going to have some seller disclosures. It's called the TDS and SPQs, seller property questionnaire. I'm going to have my transaction coordinator give you the documents. We can go over them together and fill out. That doesn't come till after you get the signed listing. So you have to get the signed listing first. Then you have them sign all the disclosures. You can do it the same day if they have really good confidence in you, but most people are going to sell, and then we're going to come back and circle back to sit with them because now we've reviewed the property. We may have to do inspections. We may have to move furniture out of the way so we can paint that wall. And then they'll say, you know what, hey, let's do the disclosures. So disclosure, it's called seller property questionnaire, transaction disclosure statement. That comes after we get the listing. You could do it at the same time if you know that client and you're signing. Well, you know what? We signed the listing. Here's all the disclosures, but that's about what, 68 pages. So there's a lot for them to sign. I never want to overwhelm them. And everyone for myself and my team members, we always get the listing signed first, and then we do the disclosures. We sit with them to go over them, or we have the transaction coordinator. Everyone's different. So it's still the same no matter what. If in Texas you do it all at the same time, that's great. Here, usually we sign the listing and then we'll do the disclosures after, so we know it has to be disclosed. Wire transfer, fair housing, natural hazards. There's a lot of documents. So yes, makes sense?
Okay, great. So yeah, so one more thing about it's a one more question there about the pricing. Will you teach us how to price the house? Because I know maybe some of the different strategy here. Look at the houses here, the structure, the exterior and interior kind of total different. So how can you, I know we can just pour out the comps around that area, but every house is just different. You use different material, use different, like a different roof, or different exterior, the materials. So how can we price the house right? So
I suggest that you are attending, we have a class at Cupertino. His name is Robert Cruz. He's an economist. He runs very analytical data. He's going to teach you how to have the language and understand not only how many houses are on the market, the algorithms, the speed of the market. So you're asking the question, how do I look? You can look at comparables, but it doesn't matter what comparables say. I'm going to give you an example. I went over with the buyer, with the seller. They wanted this particular number. but the comps are saying that they're not going to get that number. The buyer is always going to dictate the sale price. You can prepare the house, but you need to know the market. You need to run the comparables. You need to know what the last home sold. You need to walk the neighborhood and really be well versed. It's going to take some time, especially if you're coming from Texas, because we're such a different market. You know, we're $1 million homes is what we do. So $1 million homes, but I could have it listed for 1.5, thinking that I'm only going to go 8% over, 80,000 over, whatever it may be, off of that property. But if that seller wants it, a buyer wants it bad enough, it can go up to 1.9. Again, we can create and give a best list price, but it's based off of the comparables within a 1 mile radius, and you use different tools to get that number. And there is training at the Santa Clara County. They have an appraiser, how they appraise houses. Also, they have MLS, how you run comparables. So there's classes, and even at our office, KW, we also have classes to teach you how to run a strong comparable. Mark Bernstein, he's our broker at the Santa Clara office and our Silicon City office. He shows us how to run a strong comparable. So I would encourage you to attend the classes to really understand. And even before you list the house, check in with your owners or the brokers, MCA. Hey, this is what I plan to list for. What are your thoughts? Let me see what you have. What are your comparables? What data are you using? What does the house look like? So there's a lot of variables. So training's one, understanding the market's one, being able to read the data and knowing their house, what it looks like. So there's a lot of things here, especially in Silicon Valley. We're in the most expensive place to live. You have to have 166 combined income to buy a house here. And our average price point is 1.250. So training, okay. But remember, you're here and just ask the questions. We are willing to help you. And you'll always see them on the calendar, the classes. Do as many classes as you can. Contracts, MLS, appraiser, title will tell you too. So some good questions, okay? We need a lot of different sources to really come in with that strong number. Mr. Seller, this is what we think you should sell your house for. And just be confident, okay?
Right, correct. Okay, excellent. Thank you so much.
You're more than welcome. And remember, I'm always here. We're all here to help you, and information's free. We just want to see your success. Your success is our success, okay?
Great, thank you.
Thank you, everybody. I appreciate you, okay? So after we get the listing agreement signed, we want to, how was your thinking change? How do you feel differently about, and what was meaningful today? How will your behaviors be different going forward? So in meaning and all this stuff, when you go in, you're so, you're pumped up, right? But you're also nervous, especially if you're new or not really well versed. How's your thinking change? I went in there, it wasn't so bad. How did you feel? I feel good. I felt like I was strong. Or man, I don't feel I did a really good presentation. You really need to be aware of where you are as an agent. And it's okay. We all start from zero and we grow. Nobody gets there without going through some fumbles, okay? But next time, how will your behaviors be different going forward? And what action will I take to be better, to be stronger, to be more confident? Or I did fantastic, What tool, model, and systems will you use? How will they make you accountable? I'm going to put it in my command software. I'm going to put it, make sure I'm touching them, making sure, you have to be accountable. Accountability means I'm going to call that client. That means I'm going to do what I say. Okay. Daily success system. You should be measuring every day your lead gen. How many listings or how many appointments did I set? Remember, you should have a daily success system. You should be able to measure. If I call 20 people today, how many appointments did I make? How many conversations did I have? How many CMAs did I send out? How many showings did I show today? How many homes? There's a lot of stuff. So remember, you have to start with the schedule. And we have scheduled examples if you'd like, but you should always have, all top producers have a schedule. This should be in your schedule. How many calls did I have? How many conversations? How many contacts added? Did I do handwritten notes? That's really nice here. Doing handwritten notes, that takes our current consumer out of it's a surprise because we don't do that anymore. Everybody's with emails, text messages. When you send a handwritten note to that person, hey, it was a pleasure meeting you. Thank you for your time, Tabitha, or if you have any questions, that's really impactful. It's kind of silly, but it really is. Are you doing social media engagement, enrichment? Are you doing classes, training? How many appointments? How many agreements are you signing? How many closings are you have, right? So there are a whole process of how you measure the phone calls, how many appointments I made, how many can I convert? You know, sometimes we don't convert. If you're not converting on your listings, how to be the best seller, it's two things. Either you're not knowledgeable or there's a stubborn agent, stubborn seller. So you want to be very well versed, be very patient, be knowledgeable, but be you. Don't be something that you're not, because they can tell.
Have a question.
Yes.
What is the 1051 social media? What does that mean? The numbers.
1051. So how many are you putting out for engagement? 1051. You're putting 10. You may get back 5. Make 1 appointment. Social media engagement. Who's responding to you on social media? Right? Social media. I do social media, but I'm not the best at social media, guys. I don't do a lot of. I'm doing videos now because I'm on a team that I have to. But really, I like door knocking. I like talking to people. So it all depends on if you're better at how many the conversions. 1051. How many out of those? If you got 5 and you have the social media engagement, you want to measure your activity. If I put a post on social media, how much activity am I going to get? Who's responding to that? Make sense, Adrian?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
You know, we just had that new loan program. I sent it out, but my sphere, they didn't need that particular because no one's responded to it. So I know that that isn't for me, for my genre of people, right? So it all depends. So I know who I'm targeting when I do my social media. Okay, you want to have that engagement with them. How many times are you touching them? If you get if someone message you on Facebook, get their email, or you could direct message them, send them information. How many times are you touching them? And it takes, a few times before you can get the conversion, okay, and to build their trust. But they're watching you. Social media, everyone's watching you, okay. Remember the do not call list. If you got a listing and you want to call the spear from your farm, you're going to get that whole list of people potentially. They have a turnover rate. You should know who you're going to be calling. And with different title companies, either you buy them or they give them to you. But on the do not call list, please don't call. You could be sued. Keller Williams can be sued if you're calling somebody that is on the do not call list. You can get in trouble with your license as well. So be very mindful of the list that you do get. I engage every conversation in the spirit of contribution, and people are happy to be in a relationship with me. That's really what you want to end up coming down to. I do engage every conversation. So all my clients now are circle of influence. That means people that I know, spear, referrals. I get a lot of referrals because, and in this tough market, it's not the easy referral. It's that relationship I built organically by trust that I get these deals now. So it is a tough market. So be you, be confident, but care. Okay. Know your farm. You should all have a farm. You should be marketing who you are. Do not be a secret agent. Let them know I'm an agent. I'm in your area. I lived here all my life, or whatever it may be. I'm a realtor. Okay, so but always have contribution and build that relationship. They can feel it. Role playing. You should be role playing every day. If you don't have a role play partner at your office, you can call another agent on the phone. Practice. Hey, this is what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to do for sale by owners today. Can I practice that script with you? Hey, I'm going to do open house invites. Can we practice the script? Come with contribution, but also know what you're going to say to whoever you're talking with in your role play. Prepare your conversation list. Who are you going to contact? If you're going to hit 10 people, 20 people, being on a team, I had to call 100 people a day. So I had to measure 100 people a day, how many appointments I set. I would set 1. Then as I got better at talking and understanding the client, then after 50, I can make two appointments. So you're going to start to measure, but know your list. Who are you talking to? Prepare who you're going to talk to. You can even call your family. Hey, I'm a realtor. I'm with Keller Williams. Is there anything I can do for you? Or could you send me anyone that you think that would need my services? Most times, family is willing to help you. Lead gen conversations, 45 minutes. How long are you really lead gen? Are you doing 2 hours, 3 hours? Are you breaking it up 10 to 11 in the morning? I have my own time frame that I do in the morning. I do everything before 11:30, but if I don't have any appointments, I'll do it from 3 to 6. I find that's the best time. You're going to learn when you're going to get people to answer the phone calls for you for your lead gen conversion. Okay. This is winning the seller. Once you get a seller, you're going to call the database of the people next to them, invite them to your open house. You might pick up another seller. Hey, I saw that house is going for, 1.2. Do you think you know what the value of my house is? Well, come over to my Twilight. Let's talk about it, and then we could set an appointment. So you want to be kind. Don't be too hasty and rush. Be you. Be valuable. Be knowledgeable. Be able to answer rebuttals. Always update and contact your follow-ups. If you met them at the open house, if there was a seller that you met walking your neighborhood or at the store or somewhere, wherever you got that lead, make sure you're following up with. Okay. And celebrate your successes. We're not always going to win every listing. Mind you, I go to a lot of listings. I don't always win them because sometimes people aren't ready to sell. They want to make the money, but they're too young to get the capital gains benefit. So people just have to hold on to their market. So you don't have to hold on to the properties. So remember, celebrate you just getting out there. Celebrate you practicing. Celebrate that you went to a listing. I'm hoping that you get them and that you've trained to be prepared. But if you don't be hard on yourself. What happened? Why didn't I get that listing? It's not always you. It could be the seller wasn't ready and there's obstacles. Okay. Daily success system. Remember, handwritten notes. Use command to connect and get the help. We have a lot of the tech-abled agents. So on our command, we have a lot of tutorials how to do things. I encourage you to do that. Be very present and active. And I know that it's saying more of the same, but really just be prepared. Train. Be knowledgeable. There's a lot of classes that they have regarding Prop 19 capital gains at our county. And even with your title company. Meet with them. Talk with your lender. Find out as much as you can to be the best agent possible. Okay. Got it? That was it, guys. That was my class. And I hope that I was able to give you some good information. But again, just being your genuine self, preparation, and being authentically you and caring for those clients. All right, guys, no more questions. Remember, you could always email me at tabithalouisa@kw.com. So it's my first name and last name, tabithalouisa@kw.com. I'd love to share any information that I can to help you become a stronger listing agent, have the preparation to have a really strong listing package. And it doesn't have to be 500 pages. It could be a really simple package about you, their home's value, what you offer them, how you will help them sell, alleviate the stress and be the buffer. Go out there and execute, okay? I hope this was helpful, everybody. Thank you for your time. It was really an honor and exciting. I look forward to hearing good stuff about everybody.
Thank you, Tabitha.
Thank you.
Thank you,
you.
Tabitha.
Sure, okay? I'll give you my email. I'm sorry, I didn't even get to see the chats. Show chats. Here's my email, guys. I'll give you any information from you. I love helping agents. It's free. Just ask a question. Okay? Send me a message. And I'm here to support you. And your success is, huge. All right, Adrian? Get that listing appointment for that seller. Bring him into the office. We'll go over it together. I'll help you prepare and we'll understand his needs. And it's all you. I'm just there to support you, okay? I'm really proud of you. Keep at it, okay? It's a scary industry we're in, but you're so talented. And if you have that hunger, nothing's going to stop you. Remember that. Obstacles are going to stop us, but without failure, we cannot grow. Remember that, okay? Thank you.
Okay.
I appreciate all of you.
Tabitha, you have 2 minutes?
Sure.
Only 2 minutes? Okay.
Yeah. You want to call? We have 10:25. We could talk right now.
Okay. So,
What?
I have a client who's wanna actually make with fix and flip.
Okay.
I'm gonna call in Thursday. We set it up an appointment for Saturday, next Saturday.
Okay.
I was wondering, do you have that experience with fix and flip.
Absolutely. And remember, I'm with TE. That's their specialty too. So you could always bring them in. Okay. With Trung and
Okay.
Evan, the team I'm on, that's their specialties. We'd have we fix and flip. We also show people how to create more equity. When you buy a house, how can you make money off that house? Are you going to build an ADU? You're going to rent out another part of the house. So that's really big. Okay. So yeah, absolutely. Whatever you need, we are here for you, Adrian. There's so many
Okay.
people that want to help you grow. And even when I first started, I would ask Evan and Trung, hey, how can I help this particular investor? They just told me what to do. I didn't have to give them any money. We're not asking for money. We are willing to share anything we can to help you. Close a deal, grow. Okay.
Okay,
Because then
perfect.
and you're going to pay that forward too, because you're going to do it for somebody else.
it.
Okay.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Appreciate everybody. Thank you.